Hi guys, it's Beth. Welcome to my channel. Today we are camping, and if you saw one of my last videos, it was about how I packed for camper crafting. And so we are here. We've been kind of sightseeing, running around most of the day. It's gorgeous outside, so I thought I'd sit outside. The kids are over playing in the little play area not far from our campsite, and so I thought I'd sit out here at our little table and do some crafting. It's not overly windy, so I'm going to take advantage of this beautiful weather and beautiful day, and just thought I'd show you guys what I'm doing. One night I did get to read by the fire, and this isn't sponsored, but I do want to tell you about a new book series that I'm absolutely loving. It's by Joanna Campbell Slan, and it's a crafty mystery series. And it's called the Kiki Lowenstein mystery series, and it's actually about a paper crafter and, a mystery. But I can totally get into a book that is talking about finding cardstock that coordinates with your patterned paper and choosing the right embellishments for your scrapbook page. Totally speaks my language. So I will link the series below if you'd like to check it out, but it's a super fun, light, easy read and totally right up a paper crafter's alley. So today is our last full day here at the campground, and it's been raining off and on all day, and all the stuff that we had planned to do is outside because it wasn't supposed to rain today this much per the forecast. So we've kind of decided just to make this a chill day. Sean went off to do a little shopping. The girls are in their back room playing, and so I decided to take advantage of the time and get some crafting done. But I did want to share something with you really quick that you will see me doing. This is the shape of the ATG gun, and Jess Crafts. I will link her channel and the video, try and find that video again where she shares this with you guys. But she was kind enough to trace out her ATG. I guess she had a template already that she used a long time ago to kind of trace paper for her to decorate her ATG, and so she decided to go ahead and share it on her blog. So if I can, I will try and find the blog post, like go directly to the blog post for you. But I will link that below if you would like to decorate your ATG. So that's probably the first thing I'm going to be doing, and then I'm going to be working on that 6x6 pad that I needed to try and get finished up. So just wanted to talk about that for a second and let you know to be linked below. Otherwise, I'm going to get started crafting. So like I said, the first thing I'm doing is working on decorating my ATG, because why not? I don't know why I never thought to decorate mine before. I know Christy Marcotte has hers decorated, and I had thought about adding stickers before and just never got around to it. But then when I saw Jess Crafts on YouTube show how she decorated hers, I was like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. Then you don't see the messiness of the tape inside. So all I'm doing is cutting out my template, tracing it on my paper, cutting it out from my paper, and then adding it into my ATG. And voila, I'll have a nice, pretty pink all over ATG. Okay, so now we're getting into working with my 6x6 pad. And I am following that sketch fairly closely, and I'm just going through the scraps that I have left and looking for some strips that are similar width. And I decided to go with the pieces that are from the top of the pad. You know, they've got the hole to hang it from, to hang the pad from, and I'm trying to arrange those so that I can cover up the holes and, you know, make use of that part of the paper. So by now you will have seen, I have already posted my project share video for the Smash That Small pad that I am working on this particular pad for. So you will be able to see like all the finished cards and how they came out in that video. And today I'm just showing you a little bit of my process making a few cards. So I'm trimming them down just a little bit so that they will all fit on the front of that card. And I think they were like 1 inch and 1/16 or something like that. They were just over 1 inch wide that I needed to fit across the card. Because it is an A2 size card base, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it takes me a minute to figure out the width that I need. But this is the first time I'd really had a chance to sit down and craft. We'd been going for a few days straight, so I was tired, and it was rainy. So I decided this would be the perfect opportunity to get some crafting done. And plus, I needed to have this done because the day after we got home and have my video posted. So it was kind of like I was either going to have to cram it all in once we got home or work on some of it now. So I was glad to have a chance to work on it now. So I finally get everything trimmed down, and I've got it arrayed so that I can have all the holes covered. And I decided, since I had 2 of those cut aparts, I'm going to go ahead and cut pieces to make 2 of these cards. Trying to decide which sides I want to use, which ones will work best with each other. And now that I've got those vertical strips figured out, I am trimming down the pieces to go across the top, and then I want a white strip to kind of separate the horizontal piece going across the top and then all of my vertical strips. So now I'm ready to start building my card, and I work left to right. And just use my newly decorated ATG to put all of those down. So for the first 3, I have the hole kind of on the right hand side, and on this last one I was supposed to have the hole on the right hand side, but I realized that I had used the wrong side, put the ATG on the wrong side. So luckily you can rub the ATG off, so that's what I did, and did that off camera so you didn't have to watch me do that. And now we're back in business with my hole on the correct side. And I had changed, I originally was working with that polka dot, the aqua polka dot piece, and realized I didn't want to have the polka dots with the vertical dots there at the bottom. So I went with the stripes instead. That was the only reason I switched that out after starting to put some ATG on it. So I had a little bit of overhang from the front, so I'm just coming in and trimming that up. And for some reason was having a little trouble with that. So the last thing that I need to do is put the cut apart on the front. And I want to make sure that I line that up well enough so that I do cover all of my holes. And so that first card is done. So this card should go a little quicker. Again, on those first three, the holes will be lined up on the right-hand side of the strip, and on that last one, it should be lined up on the left-hand side of the top so that it's in far enough to be covered. So this time, I get it right as far as which side I put my adhesive on for that last strip, but then I realized that these strips are too skinny, so I don't know how I cut one of them wrong, but I did, so I'm just going to trim my card. If all else fails, just make the card a little smaller. So I'm going to finish putting adhesive on that polka dot piece since I don't have the dots on the bottom part of this one. I like that combination better. Again, trimming off, I had to trim off overhang on this one from the top just because I had made my card a little smaller than what was planned. So finally, both of those cards are done. And I will link the few sketches that you see me using in this video, but all of the sketches that I used for these cards were also linked in my Smash That Small Pad Project share, which I will also link below. So there'll be a lot of links below. My video, the Just Crafts blog post, the book series by Joanna Campbell Slan, and any of the products that I have used. And I will also link the How I Pack for Camper Crafting if you missed that one. You can see kind of how I planned what I was going to work on and what I needed to bring. So here I'm just cutting some squares, or I think they are squares. I think they were maybe not all the same size just because I was working with the size of the scraps that I had left, but I just cut them into squares and then rounded the two outer edges of those squares. And now I'm just going to work on putting them on my cards, figure out which patterns work best on which polka dot pattern, and then I'm going through my scraps of the cardstock that I brought along to find a cardstock strip that I want to use for that fishtail banner piece that goes across the bottom of the square. One thing I found about camper crafting is, I do bring a variety of cardstock, mostly white, but the colored cardstock that I brought in this case was just what was left from, what I had used so far. So having the limited choices for the strips is both good and bad, because one, it doesn't take me forever to decide on something because I just have to use what I have available. But then two, sometimes it's frustrating because I really don't have the color that I think I need. So there are times where I have to wait and finish a card up at home. So for these strips, I'm just pulling out my Barely Art glue and just to make that a cleaner process. So it's funny. Have you ever counted up the different number of adhesives that you've ever used on the same project? I know there's times where I've used ATG, wet glue, foam tape, and glue dots, like probably all on the same project. On a card, probably, like a small project. So I have my last strip on, and now I am just going to add these to my card fronts. And I did have all of my card bases pre-cut and pre-folded before I came, so I didn't have to take time to do that. And so now I'm going through the stamp sets that I brought and am trying to find the sentiment that I want to use. I finally decide on a little Happy Easter sentiment, and so I'm going to pull out my little Memento teardrop. It's just the Tuxedo Black ink pad, and go ahead and stamp that out on some scrap white cardstock that I had found in my stash. I'm going to trim these down and cut them into banners, and then I figured I would just add them kind of at the top because the sketch doesn't really show a sentiment on there, so I thought about putting it across the little banner strip that I had put on, like the cardstock banner strip, but then decided that I would just add it to the top because there was not a whole lot going on the top of the card. So after I got the first two trimmed down, I realized, oh wait, I have 3 cards that I need sentiments for, and I had only stamped 2. So I got that last one stamped and trimmed out. And now I'm just going to pull out my Bearly Arts glue again and add them to the top left-hand side of my card. And these are the last 3 cards that I will be making with you today. We ate dinner right after I finished these, and so I think I did come back later on that night and do some more, but it was after dark and the lighting in the camper was bad, so I didn't turn the camera on for you guys. To finish these cards off, I did bring some enamel dots that coordinated with this collection, and so I'm just going to add a few of those around just to give it a little bit of extra pop of pink. If you guys would like to see some more footage of some of the activities that we did on our camping trip, you can stay tuned to the end of the video. There's some video snippets and pictures of our activities. We did a lot of hiking. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed crafting along with me on our camping trip. Thanks so much for your time and have a crafty day.